So we just had some season 3 content reveals, so I wanted to cover that with you guys in this video. We have gameplay of the new maps, Escalation Slayer, and a showcase of the new HDS bundles, which might be some of the best skins in the game. So if you guys like these news and informational videos, make sure you tap that like button. It is the best way to help out the video and channel within that all famous YouTube algorithm. And make sure to subscribe to keep yourself up to date with everything happening with season 3 of Halo Infinite. So let's get right into those details. First, let's check out that quick little trailer of the new season 3 skins coming in for HCS, which look absolutely amazing. Let me know in the comments which one you're gonna pick up. Here are some more details about this coding setup right here, guys. So it's gonna be part of the Mirage core. The SPI core is coming with season 3. It doesn't look to be cross-core customization quite yet available for these. You come with the sniper rifle coding, nameplate, an emblem, and a visor, which we saw on the showcase here. Now, it does look like it's not gonna be cross-core, which is a bit saddening right there, but it does look like there will be some type of customization available, as we saw within the trailer. You can do different types of helmet attachments along with it, so you can at least stand out a little bit more, so it's not so much of a uniform looking exactly the same as somebody else, which is kind of the whole point of customization. Another thing about these kits, that especially with the weapon coding that we had like with season 1 and season 2, was that you couldn't put any weapon charms on there, which was kind of weird, because with the last bundle that we have for the playoff bundle for the HDS codings, that you could have a weapon charm of that team, which is really cool, and you have the pistol coding and the AR coding of that team, so you probably want to put those two together, right? Well, you couldn't, and I'm not quite sure if we saw that on showcase right here. It didn't look like there was any chance of being able to put any kind of weapon charms on top of your HCS coding. If possible, I'll let you guys know here on the channel. Now let's talk about the new maps coming in with season 3. We have some gameplay to showcase for you guys, as well as the Team Grass versus Team Roots event happened at HCS this weekend, and it looked pretty cool, especially when we start off with the map Cliffhanger, which looked pretty standard of a map, right? At least a different type of environment, which is great for variety. The interesting thing I noticed about this map was that there was like these hologram kind of elements on the map, which makes me think this map will tie into the narrative event in some capacity, because we saw elements within the map kind of highlighted red for some reason. And if you looked into the skybox, there was like a dome shape that had a bit of a hologram pattern to it. So my assumption is this might be like a simulation within the mind of Din, right? As will also be the case when it comes to the narrative event for season 3, where Ratus is kind of like corrupting the mind of the Spartan, and you try to battle it out, I guess, in a way. Some interesting lore aspect to it, but I think it looked really cool. On the map, they also did play the new game mode Escalation Slayer. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was kind of be like Escalation Slayer that we had in MCC, which is basically gun game. Now, that still kind of works, but they made it into a team setting, which is quite interesting. I think it's a really fun, cool twist on the gun game style of mode. Now, the way it works, though, is that each team starts out with the same loadout. There are 10 different loadouts you need to go through. But the thing is, to get to the next loadout, your team needs to acquire 5 kills, and then you're available to switch to the next option. Now, you do have a delay period between it where the team can actually decide to switch to the next loadout, which is a really great feature. You have some interesting combos on the way, but the very last one is really fun, as you only have the oddball and a Shroud screen to get 5 kills as a team to win, which for an uncoordinated team might be a little difficult and give a little bit of a comeback cinematic mechanic within the mode, so the game is never over until it's actually over. So this game mode looks to really bring in some kind of cool, intense moments that have some fun mechanics jumping into it, so I'm very much looking forward to playing this. You'll definitely see some content on the channel of Escalation Slayer. The next map that was showcased was Chasm. Now this was the map I was most interested in seeing how the gameplay actually played out, because it didn't really look very promising to me, because it looked like there were two long hallways with the open space in the middle with platforms you can walk across, but it looked like a death sentence just trying to cross the map. And it definitely didn't look to play out that way from what I saw from the gameplay. Now we did see from the grassroots events, the content creators were just gonna be jumping around, doing some crazy stuff, trying to put on a bit of a show, right? So we don't really know exactly how this map's gonna play out until you give it to the hands of the community at large. But they played some social settings, playing capture the flag on it, and it looked to be an absolute blast. You had a camo that was top mid on top of one of those floating pedestals, so kind of a really fun, interesting play to put that right there. So kind of high risk, high reward kind of stuff. You had a sniper rifle for some awesome shots that we saw within the gameplay as well. But how is the flow of the map? And it seemed to be very reminiscent of a classic CE map, which Lady Echidna actually referenced to, was boarding action. If you guys don't remember the CE map of boarding action, you had two long hallways that were parallel to each other, with the middle part of the map was a dead zone basically. Well, this one kind of copies that same idea, but this time you can traverse it with those three different platforms. And it looks to be the case of how this map kind of plays out. Should be a really fun social map where it's just like, it doesn't really have to be super competitive like all the other maps in Halo Infinite. This looks to be a much more social type of experience. There are smaller hallways outside of the two long parallel hallways, so basically kind of made to get you from first floor to second floor. That's really, I didn't really seem to get used a whole lot within the gameplay, so I think they're probably just so focused on just trying to keep the action going. That's probably how this map's gonna play out. So if you want to try to pull some more sneaky maneuvers, maybe check out those outer hallways along the two major hallways on the parallel side of things to really try to make your way through. Camo's looking to be crucial on this map, as well as the lines of sight are a little tough. We also saw the showcase of the DMR as well as the Shroud screen. Now the Shroud screen is what they mentioned is basically like a smoke grenade within Halo, which we've never had before. You can shoot through it, but while you're inside the Shroud screen, you don't have access to your radar. It's blocked off. Now you still have it there obviously, but you can't really see who's running at you until you're actually within the Shroud screen. So literally just think of it as a smoke screen, and that's what it is within Halo. It will be part of ranked and HCS gameplay, which would be very interesting to see how that plays out. That's definitely going to change out a lot of how the maps play out. We might even see some more stalemate CTF maps bring in the Shroud screen to give players more mobility to be able to go for those flags. The DMR was also showcased, and it is like a 5-shot kill with some recoil, and it does have a 1.4 times zoom, not your traditional scoped zoom, which means that you cannot be de-scoped while zooming in with the DMR. From what the head of HCS, Tashi, said, it sounded like it's going to be an on-map pickup to start out with, but they might play around with the idea of it being a starting weapon if they get enough community feedback, which I know that a lot of the pro players have been really voicing that the BR might be a little too easy to use, and have a single shot weapon like we have within Halo 5 might prove a little bit more skillful. Though without the ability to being de-scoped might be a little difficult when it comes to having that as a starting weapon. Now, is that something they can possibly turn off or on when it comes to the competitive side of things? We'll just have to wait and see. They've been pretty slow when it comes to turnarounds and updates, and seem to be very against like any kind of updates to the game, as it took us a full year though to see the Mangler and sword be removed. But from the minimal gameplay reveal that we did see at the DMR, it looks to be kind of like a mid-range between the battle rifle and say the pistol. It kind of sit between that range. Of course, we'll take a deep dive into the Bandit rifle once it is released for Season 3 on this channel. If you want to know what's coming in the Halo Infinite beyond Season 3, we'll have a video right here showcasing everything you need to know. So thank you very much for watching, and catch you on the next one. Peace out.